we wanted to go to both UWO and Fanshawe College to kind of just give people hugs because there was some suicides during reading week at UWO. What we have coming up this weekend, so anyone that's in London, Ontario, in the area, we have there's the awareness, the fundraiser, and they're doing that. Remember the camp out where we were asked?
Oh, Austin Burlette.
Yeah.
It's at UWO.
Yeah. So there's actually this weekend coming up. So
it's like a barbecue thing, right?
Yeah, and we've been asked to be a part of it. We don't really know. I'm working with some people to try to figure out what they want from us.
They're a great organization. I just know them through 2 years ago. I was nominated for Champion of Mental Health Award, and they won it.
Awesome.
And I was like, right on with you guys. You should have seen these like frat guys down in Vic Park, not drinking, just talking about mental health.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Oh.
You know, it was incredible, and it's just Austin Burlette. I never knew Austin, but his two parents run this thing every year, and they got.
And it's to raise awareness for
mental health
and suicide.
Yeah. They're incredible people. If you guys get a chance to meet the parents,
well, I think we will this weekend.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I know they're doing the camp out at on UWO property.
It's not even a camp out anymore. It's just a cookout. Like it's just an afternoon of things now.
Food?
I think they're still doing the sleepover. Yeah, I've been talking to this gentleman. I don't know if he wants to be identified or not, but
that'd be cool if they did like the camp out thing. I know that they got kicked out of Vic Park, but that they're moving it to UWO.
Yeah, so it's going to be at UCC, and I don't know what our involvement's going to be at this point, but we'll definitely try to do like a live Facebook stream. And I think we'd also, like at that time, what I've been told communicating with some of the students is rather than us just show up there with big signs that say, free hugs or whatever we want to do, we should go down to the wellness center at the UCC, let them know we'd like to do this, and then just get permission kind of thing. Or else it's better. I'd rather just go in and make this a little bit more of a, not like an event per se, but something that they know that we're coming rather than, surprise them getting dragged off the property for trying to help.
Yeah.
So this week, we'll let everyone know that's in London, Ontario when we're doing that. Same thing for Fanshawe. We're sort of exploring UWO at this moment because they're doing the Austin Burlette, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Austin Burlette event at UCC, and then we'll do Fanshawe as well. They're just as equally important, but we're kind of trying to do, two things at once.
I think we have events during, like, in the first week of May there for Mental Health Awareness Week.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Fanshawe?
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure on the contact there. I can get a hold of it for you, though.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that one out too. I'm going to try to figure all this stuff out this week, but we're going to try to become a little more active than just the podcast in the community, especially now that it's a little warmer out, right? Fuck, man. Anyway.
I was excited about the hugs.
We're going to do that. We're not going to stop doing the hugs. Hugs are key. Hugs are great. That being said, let's get into some of the material. All right, and let's talk about how we've applied this. So week 14, we're going to actually do this next week. So we're going to go through, our next week is going to be talking about how to keep stress from becoming anxiety. And then week 15, our last and final week, is going to be getting beyond a growth spurt. So we're kind of like, this course, by the way, is a Lucinda Bassett course. It's called Attacking Anxiety and Depression. And you can go on the MidwestCenter.com. I'll attach the link like I always do, if you're curious in taking the actual program that we've gone through. And it's interesting because we've done 13 weeks. We took a massive break. So now we can actually talk about whether or not we've been using the tools. And so let's go through from week 1 to week 13 and just kind of talk about how we've used things. So in session 1, we talked about anxiety and depression, the symptoms, the causes, and the common fears. So what is anxiety and depression for you? Let's start with you, Paulie, and then we'll go to you, Scott. What is anxiety? What is depression? And what do you feel? And how do you kind of cope? What is your coping mechanism?
I think anxiety for me is the unknown certainty or the unknown fear of the future, and depression is guilting myself about the past.
Okay.
I think that's a big part of my depression is my past, and my past experiences.
And still living in it?
Still living in it, or still making decisions based on where I was in the past, and I think that's where my depression kind of leaks out. But I know my depression, once it manifests itself, it can get pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I'm in this body, but I'm stuck in that 20-year-old kid who hates his life, who just sexually abused, addicted to just about everything under the sun, I feel like that person, but I still am in this shell. And I, you know, through this program, through my own therapy, and through educating myself, I've figured out a way to not snap out of it, but live with it.
Yeah.
You know, and not and
the baby steps.
I know. I'm not 20 years old. I'm 33 years old.
Yeah.
I live in London. I don't live in Delhi. You know.
So is that like a reality check? Would you
say?
say?
Yeah, I think more so. It's that whole like, name 5 things you can see. Name 4 things you can smell. Name 3 colors, the tooth, like that.
Just to bring you back.
To bring you back to reality. But then again, then anxiety, right? Then I get worried about the future.
So you bounce back and forth a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
And what are we learning in this course that's the most important?
It's to stay balanced.
To stay balanced in the present.
I think that, being in the present, if we can figure out people who just stay in the present,
I know.
we need to hang on to them. They're the Messiah.
That's what enlightened, like, people that, study, meditate for years and years and years. Like, that's what an enlightened person is.
Being present.
It's just being present constantly. And that's what we all ultimately, like, that is, you know, if you want, if you're in pursuit of happiness, or not even happiness, just less suffering, per se, that's what you're aiming for. But with our attention span and then technology, we're kind of doing the opposite to ourselves.
100%. I think it's very tough to have balance these days. We have so much pressure from society.
Yeah.
You gotta do this, you gotta go there, you gotta look cool, you gotta have this, you gotta have that.
And as soon as you get here, you'll be happy. Then it's like, as soon as you get this goal accomplished, you'll be happy. It's always about that next step.
Right. Instant gratification.
Instant gratification, of course.
There is no resilience in instant gratification.
No.
You know?
Well, I think people want to be like, instant gratification, people want things now. Right? Like whether it's information or whether it's sex or drugs or whatever. But ultimately, people think that, well, success is here. Like, I'll go for the instant gratification in the meantime, but once I get here, I won't need it anymore, almost.
Well, what's success? Success is different for everyone.
Absolutely, but I think culturally, it's like money, nice things. Whether you're in a marriage with a good-looking person, it's
success to me is like I can lay my head down in a bed that I paid for.
Yes.
You know?
I agree.
I can eat food.
Yes.
I can like walk outside without shackles on.
And this should be
that's success.
This should be I think that's enough. Like I think that's what everybody should kind of strive for.
I think, and this may be my own view, we have to stop correlating money with success.
100%.
Because I grew up in a family that had a ton of money, and we were miserable fucking people.
Yeah.
Miserable fucking people.
Yeah.
So money and happiness, or money and success, doesn't equal
2 different things.
Yeah.
So
sunsets. That's happiness to me, or success, right? If I can watch a sunset, I'm like, how many people get this opportunity? Not everyone.
Or how many people get that opportunity and fucking ignore it?
Ignore it.
Yeah, for sure. Which is a problem as well. But we're getting a little off track. Oh, yeah. We know what anxiety and depression is to Paulie. What is anxiety and what is depression to you, Scott?
It's hard to separate the two. Like
you don't have to if you don't want to, and I didn't used to be able to either. I thought they were kind of the same and they were intertwined, and they can be in that sense. Now I separate them, but that's different for me. But I used to think that they were kind of like one led to the other.
Yeah, anxiety like it overwhelms me, and then I get stuck.
Yeah,
you know, and
does that make you depressed? The overwhelming feeling from anxiety puts you in depression.
Yeah, and it comes on quick, like, and then I get stuck, and it's like just a whirlwind of thoughts in my brain going on, and I don't get anything done.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you think of the big picture rather than breaking it down.
Yeah, and then like you have this to-do list, and then you sit there, and then like at the end of the day, you don't get anything done, and then that's where then I get pissed off at myself, and then I get depressed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I get
what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, you know, like I didn't do anything today. Why not?
Well, it's easier to just kind of sit and distract yourself with like Netflix or whatever than it is to just do the things to get to the goals that you want to achieve. I understand that.
Right? Like the small accomplishments and like reward yourself. And actually, I should have brought it. I had this a friend of mine gave me a list of like 30 points, like, and they're like positive affirmations or just positive things to do in your life, and like a lot of them were like life skills and other things, and like, you know, one of them was like delete Facebook off your phone immediately,
right?
You know, and then like, you know, different life skills, and like, you know, having like you know, when you wake up in the morning, like a proper, you know, I guess, routine, and then same with going to bed, and like all these like things, and they were really good, you know, like stuff that I think we forget.
Yeah.
You know, at least I have, and it's just, you know, good little things. I should have brought it. I'll bring it next week and maybe read them off.
Sure.
You know?
Yep.
They're really good, but yeah, just the anxiety and depression almost like one and the same.
They are,
in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like it's tough.
I agree with you with the overwhelm. For me, I kind of feel like the same thing. I'll have this to-do list, and then it'll seem, especially in the winter time, when it's just like there's so much shittiness outside.
Yeah, you just don't.
And you don't want to. Yeah, it makes it so much harder to go do some of those things.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling of overwhelm leading to depression, because I get that as well. But this year especially, I've noticed how just in sync the way that I feel, like whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, or just a general feeling of well-being, is it mirrors the fucking fluctuations in the weather like crazy.
That's, you know,
when there's a negative temperature outside and it's dark and it's miserable, I honestly find myself more like a cold-blooded fucking animal, and I like wanting to hibernate.
That could be seasonal affective disorder.
Well, it is, and I think I am definitely seasonally affected. And in all honesty, I haven't been using my sad light as much as I should be, which is a light that people should be using if they're seasonally affected. Sometimes you just...
I think a lot of people do, and they just don't know it, right? Like,
I think 100%, and I see, and I understand.
Increase your vitamin D intake huge, especially for like white people like us, right?
Yeah.
Or fair
people, yeah.
Yeah, I should have said that differently, but
that's all right.
I don't absorb sunlight well because I'm like,
pasty white.
Yeah.
It's all good, man.
Blonde and reddish and whatever, Icelandic.
And I'm the same way, but it doesn't mean I don't enjoy, like, even this year, I've had to do, like, I don't know if I've told the people on the podcast this, but you would notice that I had a redness to my face last year, and it's from rosacea, so I've been doing some laser treatments, but I haven't been able to go to the tanning beds or anything, and I do enjoy, once in a while, probably more than once in a while, but going in a tanning bed for, like, a quick mini vacation, like, feels like you're just relaxing at the beach, in the warmth. And I haven't been able to do that this year. Yeah. So even though I know how bad it can be in some people's views, I mean, just like anything, right? In moderation, maybe there's people that overdo it, and maybe I have at times as well. But regardless, I've noticed that that's played a huge role, and I've taken vitamin D supplements. Yeah. Maybe not as much as I should have, but I enjoy that, and it's something that helps me through winter. And now I can't. Taking that away too is just fucking. It was a brutal winter. Yeah. So I know I felt more overwhelmed this winter than I would have, say, if that to-do list that you're talking about is in the summertime. I feel like it's just okay. You can do things. You can walk out to your car and go. You don't have to put on your jacket. You don't have to shovel the walk, you know.
I was talking to somebody that was just down in Florida, and they were saying, like, just the weather in general, like, it made her want to go outside and go for walks and do all that stuff. And it was huge. And when I lived in California, it was the same thing. Like, everybody seemed to like be outside and care more about their external, like how they looked and being fit, or just taking care of themselves because it was nice out, right?
Yeah.
And like you're outside and you're not wearing as much clothing, right? Obviously, but I noticed that here as well. Like in the wintertime, like, you know, you get into that hibernation mode. You start eating like comfort food. And
I love that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Put on the winter weight.
Exactly, that
like,
spare tire.
Hide in your room and watch TV and movies all day.
Yeah,
it's tough.
No, and I think that at the end of the day, we go through this program and we talk about this stuff during the months when we're feeling good, and it's so much harder. I mean, there was weekends where we very easily probably could have done more podcasts, and it's just like, you know, I'm guilty of it too, because I'm up till late, and then it's Sunday, I'm just like, fuck, man, I just want to lay and do nothing. But you got to kind of, even forcing yourself to talk about the way that you're feeling in that moment. It's like your to-do list. We know what we need to do to feel better, but in that moment, you just feel like you can't. It's like your ego or something is telling you that just to stay put and not to do it. Yeah. It's like, you don't need that. You don't need to do it. You know, and so we know that to the people that are going through depression right now or dealing with constant panic attacks and anxiety, you might not want to talk about it. Even hearing us talk about it might not be something that you want right now. It's just like, it's easier to turn to the TV or to distract yourself, but it's not going to get anywhere.
Like just getting out and being like with people or just doing something like, you know, like isolation is the worst, right? Because perpetuates even more isolation. But like to go out and have a coffee or like force yourself to go and have breakfast, with somebody or
Yeah.
get out of bed and whatever, and it does like
the baby steps, I think.